What's up, YouTubers? Time for another Camp Dolphins All Access. Mike Cunha joined by John Congemi for day 3 of Dolphins training camp. Of course, John, the big news today was Jalen Ramsey. Head coach Mike McDaniel confirming that he was going to have surgery today. At the time of this taping, we don't know how that surgery went. That's going to dictate how long Jalen's out. But for you, John, obviously it's a big blow, but you look at practice today, and what did you see from the cornerback group out there? Are you encouraged that they can at least wade through this storm a little bit?
First of all, Mike, I have to agree. It is a major blow. Yeah. I mean, Jalen was the centerpiece of free agency for the Miami Dolphins, and he came in with a lot of fanfare and hype, and expectedly so because of his play in the past. But the Dolphins have to find a way to rally around this injury, and we're not sure how long it's going to take. The surgeons are going to dictate that. It might be 6 to 8 weeks. It might be as long as December. Yeah. But Mike McDaniel talked about today, it's going to take all of us on defense, just not one player in that cornerback room. It's going to take the committee. And I thought today they played really well. You have a guy in his second year in Cater Kohu who's going to move inside to nickel, possibly bounce outside to corner. Noah Igbenogany took a lot of snaps with the first team today at the cornerback position. But you've got Cam Smith, a second-round draft choice, that might enter the mix. So it's going to take not one person, but multiple players to replace Jalen for as long as he's out.
And something Mike McDaniel said is they are going to bring some guys in from outside the building to see if they can maybe find someone to at least help that room in the meantime. But Mike McDaniel told reporters today that Jalen Ramsey spoke to the team yesterday and said, I've got complete faith in you guys, and whatever the doctors tell me, I'm going to try to beat it in terms of coming back. So we'll see if that does in fact happen. Now, outside the cornerback room, I think defense, again, I think for the second day, kind of shined out there. Christian Wilkins, he played well, and he let the offense know about it, didn't he?
Did he? Yeah. I saw that as well. He was talking back and forth to Barrios most of the practice, but you're right. This is a guy that if you watched him play with such joy and excitement, you hope that's contagious, and it was. You saw Zach Sealer jumping around with him. You saw multiple Dolphins defensive players getting excited by his play, and this is a player that has gotten better every single year. 11.5 total sacks through 4 seasons, almost 100 total tackles last year. This is a guy that you want to do well, because if he moves the needle up front, it's going to be better for guys like Baker behind him. It'll be better for X on the edge, and whoever is replacing Jalen in the beginning of this season. But Christian Wilkins going to get paid at some point in his career, and I hope it's here with the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah, and today he played like a guy hoping to get paid big. I mean, there were a couple plays there where Tua barely had the ball, and all of a sudden, Christian just seemed to be right in his face. That was very cool to see. All right, let's talk a little bit offensively. The running backs, because, you know, the talk of Dalvin Cook, Mike McDaniel mentioned, like, hey, Dalvin Cook's a good player. I like the guys on our teams, too. We'll see what happens. Dalvin Cook is a free agent. So, you know, I think the Dolphins like what they have. Do you think they have enough?
I think they do.
Yeah.
I think they have enough speed. I think they have enough diversity in terms of what you do well. I think that you've got guys that can catch it well out of the backfield. You've got guys that have speed on the outside that can turn a meaningless 3 or 4 yard run into a 12-yard gain or a 20-plus yard gain. That's what this offense was lacking with consistency. I don't think they had the dedication to the running game. And I think this year, with the way teams are going to play Tua and the speed on the outside, I think it's going to give the Dolphins running room and running back room a little bit more leverage to dictate what happens, to carry the game, if you will, because the way defenses are going to play the speed on the outside of this wide receiver group.
Not to mention just learning the offense in general. These running backs here basically have a leg up on anyone coming in. This is year 2 for them. Maybe, it's been a little while because, Wilson and Mostert came over from San Fran with Mike McDaniel. So there's a lot of familiarity with the offense, at least with those two. And then you had a guy like A-Chain coming in as well.
More speed.
Could be a fun one. So the Dolphins, they're done for practice for today. They're going to have off on Saturday. Sunday, they're back out here. We'll all be out here. And the fans get to be out here, too. Should be a fun day. We'll hear from Zach Thomas on Sunday as well. A lot of big things happening here around Dolphins camp. Of course, we'll keep you posted on whatever happens with Jalen Ramsey and his injury. We certainly hope that is a 6 to 8 week injury and not something that carries over into December. For John Congemi, I'm Mike Cunha for another edition of Camp Dolphins All Access.